Welcome back to my channel and welcome to episode 2 of All About Baybayin, the series that seeks to answer some of your most commonly asked questions about Baybayin. So today's video is going to focus on the history of Baybayin. Now, originally for this video, I was actually torn between jumping straight into the tutorial or going into the history of Baybayin. But I decided that maybe it's better for us to first tackle the history of Baybayin so we would have a deeper understanding and a more solid grasp of what it is, which would lead to a better and deeper appreciation of the art. There are many theories as to where Baybayin came from. Baybayin came from the Tagalog word baybay, meaning to write or to spell. The most popular theory regarding the origin of Baybayin is that it came from India, during what is known as the Indianization of Southeast Asia. If you look closely, you'll see a lot of similarities between Baybayin and the writings of India. In fact, Baybayin is considered to be part of the family of Brahmic scripts. Other theories state that it may have come from Java or the Champa Kingdom in what is now Vietnam. In 1989, a sheet of copper was found in Laguna bearing the Kawi script. This copper plate is believed to have come from all the way since 900 AD, proving that there was already a writing system present in the Philippines way before the coming of the Spanish. Regardless of where Baybayin came from, what we do know is that when Miguel Lopez de Legazpi first arrived in Cebu in 1571, he was astonished to find out that the Filipinos were apparently not the savages that he thought that they were. Expecting savages and barbarians in Cebu, he was surprised to find out that there was a writing system in place already. Baybayin was mostly written on palm leaves and pieces of bamboo using sharp knives and other tools. This choice of material explains why Baybayin mostly has curved lines. I mean, sige, G lang, magsulat ka ng parang katakana sa dahon. Tingnan natin kung di yan mapupunit, ah. The Spanish friars Pedro Chirino and Antonio de Maga noted that it was actually harder to find someone in the Philippines who didn't know how to read and write as opposed to finding someone who knew how to read and write. So you could probably imagine that the Spanish were all mind blown from this. But wait, there's more. Not only was reading and writing available to anyone of all social classes, it was also available for the women. In fact, they noticed that the women were even better than the men. In 1676, a Spanish friar named Francisco de Santa Ines tried to explain this disparity. Do you know what he said? He said that because
they do not have any other way to while away the time, for it is not customary for little girls to go to school as boys do, they make better use of their characters than men, and they use them in things of devotion and in other things that are not of devotion.
However, we know now that that may have just been the Spanish trying to impose their ideals on us, because in pre-colonial Philippines, men and women were practically equals. Now, if you studied Philippine history in a Philippine school, for sure, you've heard the saying that goes, the Spanish conquered the Philippines with the sword and the cross. And that's what they did with Baybayin. They took Baybayin, the writing system uniquely ours, and they used it to spread Christianity and conquer us with the cross. In 1620, the Spanish published and released a book of catechism in the Philippines that, for the first time ever, was written in both the Latin alphabet and in Baybayin. The usage of Baybayin allowed the Filipinos to further understand what they were trying to teach them. Now, this book is extremely important to the study of Baybayin Why is this so? It's because this is the first time that the krus kudlit was used in Baybayin. If you saw my previous video, I explained that Baybayin is an alpha-syllabary, meaning that each character in the Baybayin alphabet represents a consonant sound followed by a vowel sound. If you missed my previous video talking about this, I'm linking it down in the description below. Now, the problem is, what if you want to use just the consonant? No vowel sound. They didn't really have a problem with this before the coming of the Spanish. But when the Spanish arrived and they wanted to translate their ideas into Baybayin, Spanish had a problem because there were some words wherein they needed to drop the vowel sound. They introduced the krus kudlit. The krus kudlit is a small symbol that you can put underneath any character symbolizing a consonant sound in the Baybayin alphabet. And what it will do is that it will drop the vowel sound found at the end of the consonant sound. For example, ba will simply become b. And the krus kudlit was first used in that book. Just like Baybayin's origins, there are many theories surrounding the decline of Baybayin. The most popularly believed theory as to why Baybayin fell out of use is that the Spanish burned everything en masse. According to the historian H. Otley Beyer, a Spanish friar in South Luzon even boasted about burning over 300 documents containing the Baybayin script. However, when they looked into this claim again, they couldn't find anything substantial behind it. Specifically, they couldn't find the name of the priest who supposedly boasted about burning all those documents. So while we can't say with certainty that the Spanish did burn documents of Baybayin, we also can't say with 100% certainty that the Spanish didn't burn documents. Another scholar, Hector Santos, suggested that maybe the Spanish did burn some things. It is very possible that they may have burned down any documents written in Baybayin that had spells or curses. Why? Because this would go against the very Christianity that they were trying to spread. Thus, the most commonly accepted theory regarding the decline of Baybayin is that it just faded, As the Spanish came and colonized us further, the need to use Baybayin just became less and less and less as people transitioned to the Latin alphabet. People just stopped using it. It just became outdated. Kinda like Blockbuster or Video City. On top of that, Baybayin was mostly written on perishable materials such as palm leaves and bamboo. And with these materials, they just rotted away, and that's why they're lost to us now. However, Baybayin has not yet fully died in the Philippines. In fact, Baybayin may be used more often and closer to you than you may think. Some examples are
the logo of the Cultural Center of the Philippines. Have you ever wondered why the logo of the Cultural Center of the Philippines looks like that? Why does it consist of 3 H's? What does H have to do with the Cultural Center of the Philippines? Well, that isn't actually an H. That's actually the Baybayin character Ka. And they use 3 Kas to represent katotohanan, kagandahan, at kabutihan, or truth, beauty, and goodness. The Armed Forces of the Philippines also uses Baybayin in its coat of arms. Just like the Cultural Center of the Philippines, the Armed Forces of the Philippines also makes use of the Baybayin character Ka. In this case, however, the Ka represents the Katipunan and what they fought for, kalayaan or freedom. The National Museum or Pambansang Museo also utilizes Baybayin in its logo. In this case, it utilizes the Baybayin character Pa, representing pamana or heritage. If you like to travel, take a look at your passport. Do you see any Baybayin there? Look closely. Passports issued after August 2016 utilize Baybayin. It quotes from the Book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 34. And it says, "Ang pagiging matuwid ay ang magpapadakila sa bayan," or "Righteousness exalts a nation." For those of you who may not travel a lot, Baybayin is still closer to you in your everyday life than you may think. Take a look at your money. Here, let's take for example the 100 peso bill. Do you see any Baybayin on the bill? Yes, the new generation of bills in the Philippines contains the word Pilipino, written in Baybayin. It extends to the coins too. Do you see it? It's clearer when we look at the design. Do you see it? There is a small PI on the coins, meaning Filipino.
Our national hero, Jose Rizal, even used Baybayin in his obra maestra, Noli Me Tangere. Parts of its sequel, El Filibusterismo, were also written in Baybayin on bamboo strips, and these strips can now be found in Paris. You can find the world's largest collection of Baybayin scripts in the University of Santo Tomas, the oldest university in Asia and the Philippines. In 2018, Baybayin was approved as the national writing system of the Philippines, in accordance with House Bill 1022, which seeks to preserve and promote Baybayin as part of our cultural and national heritage. And that wraps up Baybayin's story for us up to today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you all learned something. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be the first to receive any updates on any new videos. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!